Trayvon Martin was first shot, I said that this could have been my son. Another way of saying that is Trayvon Martin could have been me 35 years ago.
All right, that was the president on Friday. He made a rare appearance at the White House press briefing room and put himself yet again in the middle of the George Zimmerman trial, clearly not knowing the facts. And while many on the left were quick to praise the president, as usual, for what he had to say, I wasn't so sure the commander-in-chief's unexpected address was appropriate. And liberals began feigning outrage over what I said on my radio program. First, you can listen to some of my comments, tongue-in-cheek, that made the left so unhappy.
Now the president saying Trayvon could have been me 35 years ago. Oh, this is a particularly helpful comment. Is that the president's admitting that, well, I guess because what? He was part of the Choom gang and he smoked pot and he did a little blow? I'm not sure how to interpret that because we know that Trayvon had been smoking pot that night. I'm not sure what that means.
Over at NBC News, the left-wing so-called journalists, the Al Sharpton network, didn't see my point, decided to twist what I said. Watch this.
It seems we keep hearing, Mika, that Trayvon had it coming because he had pot in his system. I keep hearing this from people like you.Hannity and others on the right. Really? Is that the new standard? Would we like to go across college campuses in America and tell all white boys that if they have marijuana in their system, then they're fair game? Really? Really? In 2013, Sean? Come on. Whatever excuse there is to say this young black man had it coming to him, that is the defense, because there is no defense for shooting down a young black man in a middle-class neighborhood with Skittles.
All right, joining me now with reaction, Fox News contributor Santita Jackson, Angela McGlowan. Look, it's not really worth Angela responding to Liberal Joe and his under 400,000 viewers or whatever he has. His radio show failed, his TV show is failing. He's kind of sold his soul, you know, on a liberal network, and he attacks conservatives and is used as a prop by his inside Washington pals to attack conservatives. So I'm not really going to justify that with a comment. I never said anything like that. But
no, you didn't. You didn't say that Trayvon had it coming. And it's so sad, Sean, that apparently his ratings are falling and he needs more eyeballs to come to his channel. So what does he do? He attacks you.
Well, he's used as a prop by all the Washington insiders. Joe Scarborough, Republican, said about other Republicans, and he's used on a daily basis. Look, the president could have said, Santita, respect the jury's verdict. The president could have known this case was not about race. There's no evidence presented in this case of any racial animus by George Zimmerman.
Well, you know, while the verdict has been returned, the jury is still out in the court of American public opinion. The fact is, I've heard a lot of people go back and forth about this, and my question is, Dr. King posed this question almost 50 years ago: where do we go from here? And as we are about to commemorate the 50th anniversary of the March on Washington, we're still asking that question. Dr. King described in the first part of his speech the nightmare that Americans were living, all Americans were living. And at the end he said, I aspire to this dream. And my question is, after all of the talking, after all of the shouting, how do we get to the dream? How do we get there?
But this is more important, I think, and I'll throw this to Angela. This is three times now the president he's a lawyer, supposedly. The Cambridge police acted stupidly. My son would look like Trayvon. This could have been me 35 years ago, all implying that this case was about race. Now, if there was evidence to suggest that, I would listen. But there's a mountain of evidence that showed George Zimmerman was not a racist.
But Sean, this is bigger than the case that you have the leader of the free world that steps up to the podium, and reluctantly so. This was not an impromptu press conference. Obama doesn't do anything that's impromptu. The president had a grand opportunity, Sean, to actually address the systemic problems that have plagued our community, Santita, for decades now. And instead, he personalized this tragedy, this child who is dead. He personalizes it for his own political gain. And I think that
you know what, Angela?
More of Santita, I'll let you finish. I think it stirred more of the racial part, and it's caused more racial division. We have hopelessness and despair in our community. Well, the unemployment rate is what, over 7% nationally, and the black community is over 13%. Where is he on those issues? But yet he talks about Trayvon Martin.
Well, the fact is, the president personalized this, as all presidents do. Our politics are products of our personal experiences. I don't have a problem with that. What I do have a problem with is this back and forth that we're doing. We act as if racial profiling is not an issue in the African American community and the broader community.
I didn't say that.
And no. And what I'm saying to you is what is more deep is the context that was taken out of this case. There are many unanswered questions about
Santita.
George Zimmerman. Wait one moment, if you don't mind, if I may say this.
Yes.
What we have not heard, we have not discussed the racial profiling that he's accused of having done in the past. That having been said, I want to know, that's why I said, although the verdict was returned, the jury is still out. There are still many questions that are unanswered about this case.
But why 61 people died in Chicago, and I have their names right here. And I've been reading them on the air, my radio show. By the way, if you work at Mediaite, I'll send you copies and tapes of my radio show.
I read it.
But the point is, all of this is being ignored, and a fixation on this case that has no evidence. George Zimmerman mentored Santita, mentored black children in his spare time. That does not fit the profile of a racist.
Well, also according to, look, this is his racism. Everybody has that bug in the United States of America. He is also accused of having profiled a skinny, as he put it, young black boy, 7 to 9 years of age, in his neighborhood who was suspicious. Look, I want us to get beyond all of this and stop this kind of pain from happening to any American.
Santita, instead of playing the race card, what we need to do is actually solve the problems that plague our community. And the president had a grand opportunity to do that, but yet he personalized a dead child.
All right,
he should have personalized it, because this happened in Chicago at the turn of the last century. It was white-on-white crime. Let's stop this. Solve the problem of violence in America.
We can start in Chicago, where a lot happened even this weekend. This very
around
weekend.
The world, this is seen as an American
Let's
problem.
Let's start in Chicago. It is in America. We can start in Chicago, and then we can go to Los Angeles and every other big city.
Around America.
And
in America, this
I don't
is
see
not
rallies to save our children, because if they're there, I'll promote them and support them, because I don't like to see God's children killed, period.
I don't like to see God's children killed, but let me tell you something. In America, we see this as a Florida problem, but around the world, this is seen as an American problem.